feels weird to start an episode like that because I haven't done that in ages, actually. But I decided I'd go ahead and get a beacon in between episodes because it's a pretty boring process, just going to another fortress and farming wither skeletons for quite a bit and then killing the wither. But we do now have one, and I don't have any specific reason for wanting one. It's just really like haste, and the game is going to lag a ton because I just loaded into my base area. But pretty much whenever I'm digging a hole, I'd just rather have Instamine, so now I can have Instamine, because I have another star, and therefore I can get a beacon. And there we go, we got our beacon. Of course, that's not the only thing I actually need for the beacon to work. I need to go get some emerald blocks, because I don't have an iron farm right now, and therefore I do not have the ridiculous amount of iron blocks that's required to do a beacon. Luckily, I have a couple, just a couple emerald blocks. So that should be enough. I believe it's 2 stacks and 36 for a full beacon, so that should be all I need. And now I can have phase 2 whenever I dig a big hole. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome back. My name is LimBryn, and this is episode 9 of Parrotcraft. And today, I think I already know exactly what I want to do. Did miss the F5 button a couple times there. But I've been doing a lot of, nice looking stuff recently. I built this whole area, which I think looks really great, and also we did the boat and stuff, and I want to do just a really useful farm, because I did some farms in the last episode. We built a sugarcane farm and a cactus farm down in this building. I've made it look a little bit better with that magma, and it produces, enough sugarcane and cactus for all of my sugarcane and cactus needs, but truthfully, sugarcane and cactus aren't really resources you need that often. So in today's episode, I want to build some farms that are actually a lot more useful. Mostly an iron farm, because I am running a bit low. Now, I have a couple stacks of iron left, I think, but when you do a big project with a lot of hoppers, this much iron will go away in an instant. So we're going to build an iron farm today. So the first question for an iron farm is, where exactly do I want to build it? And I've been thinking about this for quite a while, actually, because I want it to kind of make sense in the context of Parrot Keep. So I think it's going to be like a mine, because that's where you would get iron from. And in terms of where to put a mining type thing, I was thinking in this cave over here, because I don't want to put it directly under my starter base. I have other plans for that area. But this place is probably a pretty good spot for a mine. I've never really built a mine that's super large scale and isn't just a tiny little mineshaft entrance. But I think it'll be nice to try it out. So I think this is where we're going to build it. I have to plan out a few things as to where the actual farm is going to go, where the aesthetic parts of it are going to go. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so what we're going to do, I've thought about this a little bit. I haven't really done any actual planning, but I've sat here and thought about it. So pretty much this cave is a bit big for how big I want to make an aesthetic mine, which is I don't really want to have, I don't want to use this bottom area at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off at this level, just so that it's a lot less, and I'll probably essentially de-lush this lush cave, so replace all this moss with stone and stuff, and then the iron farm itself will be back here. I'm going to cut off this wall so it's a bit more flat about here. By cut off, I mean build a wall there, and that will be where the actual entrance to the mine is, and also where the iron farm itself will be. I know I said I didn't really want to do a super aesthetic build today, but this is actually going to be quite a large project. So yeah, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to terraform the entire thing, because there's a lot of terraforming to do with this. I have to get rid of all this water, I have to cover up the bottom layer, and I have to bring that wall forward. And that should be about it. Well, I also have to replace all of this moss with stone. But yeah, I'm going to do the terraforming first, because that's going to take quite a bit, and it'll help me get a better idea of what I actually want to do for the build itself. And now that I have a blank slate, I can actually get to work. Okay, so I've started with some pretty basic planning, and also I did a little bit of building, but mostly I've put in this path, which just kind of goes through the middle. It's the central thoroughfare for the entire build. And I also dug this hole out because initially I was going to do a thing this, essentially, the classic mineshaft entrance that looks like that. It obviously look a little bit nicer and be quite a lot bigger, but that was the initial plan. And then I realized if I do that and I have most of that wall be an opening, I actually have to put stuff in there, and I don't really want to do that. So instead, I'm doing a hole in the ground that I can just stick a glass fog effect in and not have to worry about it. And there will be like a pulley system up somewhere here or something, and that should make it at least somewhat realistic to like actual mines that would have like an elevator to take you down into the ground before you can get mining. But yeah, so there's going to be like a basket that goes down or something like that. But yeah, it's really just because I don't want to actually have to build a mineshaft type thing. And then the other thing I built is this little thing. It's TNT storage essentially, but it's just a little awning to protect it from getting damp because damp gunpowder doesn't really work. But I just have like some storage here. I also made a dynamite storage log, which I think is pretty cool. And also, I didn't know this, but when you flip the page on a lectern, it emits like a really fast redstone pulse, and I don't know why. But anyway, anytime you flip pages in this, it messes up like all of these trapdoors and stuff. I just thought that was weird. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep kind of working on stuff. I'm gonna do this part next because it's kind of the central bit of the build. Once you like round this corner and you're coming up on it, you want to be like, oh yeah, that's a thing, is kind of the feeling that I'm going for. So big like wood structure type thing with a pulley system to lower and raise a basket is what's going to go in next. I think this thing turned out quite nice. I've put in just like, supports and stuff, and this pulley system is the main thing. Holds this basket up above the fog effect that I did because I'm lazy. And yeah, I think it's pretty simple. I tried to make a little thing where it's like you would have a person on each of these things and they would like spin it to either raise or lower the thing via this pulley system, which I really like. I was going to try and like make it look like a counterweight system, but then I realized you wouldn't really use a counterweight system for this type of thing, so I decided against it because if you're loading up ores into this, then you wouldn't really have a counterweight, just because the thing is actually changing mass, and that's not how counterweight systems work. But anyway, I think it turned out really great, and grindstones work so well for like chain junctions, and I love this. I used it several times here, but I think that turned out super great, and I think that's actually all the aesthetics I'm gonna do for now, because I want to get to the actual iron farm, which I guess is going to go in this area or in like this weird little area, but probably over here because it's a nice big open space where I can build stuff. And also, if I fly up here, it is pretty tall all around, so we're not going to have problems with iron golems spawning like on the surface, which is a problem I've had a lot with previous iron farms. So yeah, I'm going to dig out a little area for it, and I'll be right back. I dug a hole, but I also kind of got a little carried away and just like finished the rest of the farm, but that's just because it's like really simple. It's just like 3 chambers for villagers, zombie goes in the middle, villagers get scared, and then an iron golem spawns up here and gets pushed down into here, which will be a killing chamber, and then of course items fall in there, and they eventually will make their way into the storage system. It doesn't take that long, but there we go. But it's not quite done, because I in fact do need villagers and also a zombie, but the villagers are probably going to be a little bit harder. Luckily I already have a villager breeder. The only issue is it's over here, and that beacon beam is where the thing is, and my villager breeder is right here. I have quite a lot of villagers stacked up to the point that it's a little bit laggy in here, but yeah, that's like 50 or so villagers. Anyway, I have to make a little minecart rail to get them out of there and all the way up and through the jungle over to the mines, and then I can actually like transfer them pretty easily, hopefully. It shouldn't be too difficult. It's just there's a lot of like foliage in the way, and I have to get them halfway up the cliffs to start off with, so we'll see how it goes. 1 villager, 2 villager, and 3 villager. Now all we have to do is get them in, which should be as simple as pushing them in like that. I don't know how much fall damage these guys will take, but it should be fine. It is not fine. Okay. No. So I assume my villager breeder has a little bit of a problem called entity cramming, which makes it so all my villagers are at like minimum health. So instead of this strategy, if I put a rail here, that should pretty much completely fix the issue. So now I can send this guy in, but I do have to go get another villager now, which is a little upsetting because it's not the shortest to travel. But yeah, now he takes no fall damage, and then I just have to push him to the correct spot instead of being in that corner, because I don't want him in that corner. We just do like that, and I have to put the bed back here. Then we very, very carefully break his minecart, because if I hit him, he's gonna die, just like the other guy did. But yeah, we're good. So that's one villager in. I do sadly have to head back to the breeder and get another one, but I can get the other guy in before I do that, just because I don't want to do that, because I already got 3. I really should fix that problem, but I'm probably not going to, because it would be a lot of work to fix that issue with the villager breeder. Don't know I'm destroying those holes. I kind of still need them. Anyway, let's get the other guy in, and I will be back once I get another villager. That's villager number 2, nice and in his holding cell. And after a longer time than it should have taken, that is villager number 3. And now that we have that torch in, all we need is a zombie right there, and you should go to sleep. It's nighttime. Get some rest. Okay, but actually though, what are you doing? I'm going to try replacing this bed and see if that fixes him, because I do need this guy to sleep. If he isn't able to sleep for some reason, then that is in fact an issue. We're good. He just is a shy sleeper, I guess, because, you know, that's a thing. But anyway, yeah, that's all the villagers in. Now I actually need to get a zombie in here, which is kind of the harder part, because I'd like to find one that... Actually, no, I have name tags. I don't need to fight. Hey, one of you, get over here. I need a name tag first, though. That's a good point, me. I hopefully have some here. If not, I can just go buy some for my villagers, though. Well, I got a name tag, and I thought I was going to have trouble finding zombies, but apparently not. I have to actually, like, not kill one of these guys, though, and that baby has a shovel. Who gave that baby a shovel? Stop it. We're going to save that guy, because he's the only one left alive, and you are now Zombert. Okay, and now he's chasing me, so that was maybe a premature naming, but it'll be fine. I don't have, like, you know, anything prepared for where he's going to go, but... You know, winging these things tends to go great, right? Wow, you're really dumb. Okay. Well, that worked. So he's in a hole now, and I can actually get a nice little tunnel going to where he goes. So that's water is what that is. Okay, that is a little bit of an issue. Do not turn into a drowned. Actually, it might not matter if he turns into a drowned. Anyway, that is the end of that, and that goes there, and then this is here. That is water. Okay, I'm not going to be able to avoid that water. I'll just, like, go in here, and the zombie is going to go right here. Perfect. I just have to actually, like, get him in there, which shouldn't be too hard in theory. I just have to, like, make a little pad. No, that's water. Okay, very cool. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I can just, like, get him to walk in here. That's good plan, good plan. Okay, plan of get the zombie to literally just walk in there is a go. We're just going to go up here and across here, and he is just going to fall in. Perfect. Stop it. Cool. Well, we have a zombie now, and this should be a fully functional iron farm. Honestly, that was really easy, so cool. I need to open that block up because all 3 of the villagers need to be able to see the zombie, and this trapdoor is completely unnecessary, and I just have to close everything up, and we should be all good. This guy will never despawn because he's name tagged. And we should be getting some iron golems, actually, like, at any second now. That's what I was going to say. Sadly, haven't really finished the killing mechanism yet, so I have to do that, I would say before they pile up, but only one will spawn. But pretty much I'm going to put some lava here, and they're just going to get pushed, like, against this wall, and then once they die, their items will be pushed into the water stream that leads to a collection system. Should all work beautifully. But for now, I would like to... Good job. Anyway, I would like to actually make a killing system, so I'm going to go grab some lava and do that. And that is the killing system all squared away, and now we should be getting iron. Both these iron golems should die. Their iron should fall in. Once they die, which does take a while because they have a ridiculous amount of health, and we have our first iron. This thing should be fully functional now. I just have to make that, you know, pretty instead of, well... that, because it's a bit gross looking right now. But this should produce iron pretty slowly, I think. It's not the most insane farm. I just kind of looked up an easy iron farm on YouTube, and if you want to make this one yourself, I'll leave the link to the video of it in the description below. But for now, as is now a 2-episode long tradition, let's see how much this thing makes in an hour. Okay, it's been an hour, and it appears that 9 is the hourly number for this amazing and super efficient farm. Yeah, so obviously there's something wrong, but I think I've fixed the issue at this point. So, 9 obviously means iron golems weren't spawning, which they now are. And honestly, the thing that I fixed really doesn't feel like a solution. So I'm not very confident that I've actually fixed the problem. But if we head into this wall real quick, there we go. So we have our villagers in here, and the problem I think was happening was they're not spawning, which means like one of a couple things. Either the villagers aren't getting scared, which I think they are, as that zombie is still there, and obviously iron golems are now spawning, and I haven't changed anything with that. So I don't think that's the issue. And the other option is that iron golems aren't spawning because of some issue with the actual like spawning area, which I did tweak just a little bit. I added some walls that you can kind of see if the fire wasn't there. That wall, I added some walls there, so now instead of an iron golem spawning and getting stuck in a wall, which I assume is part of what the issue was, they now spawn and they don't get stuck in walls, they get pushed into the killing chamber like they should. So yeah, I added these walls here, and that hopefully should fix the issue. Because what was happening is they would spawn like on this block, for instance, right? And if they spawn on this block, then they are halfway in this wall, and they just don't get pushed because there's blocks like here, and they've spawned in the wall, so they're just like sitting here. And if an iron golem is sitting there, it doesn't get pushed through and produce iron. So I'm hoping that was the issue, and it's fixed now. So I'm going to try and do another 1 hour long AFK session, see what the actual rates of this farm, because 9 is definitely a bit low. So long story short, that didn't fix it. The problem was not, in fact, that iron golems were sticking around too much. It was that they weren't spawning in the first place. And the reason for that is my villagers, for whatever reason, weren't sleeping. Now, I've fixed that issue now by hollowing out a giant room here, which has made it work. I don't really know why. I also surrounded them in glass. I've essentially just made this farm closer to the original design than I previously had, with them completely encased in stone. Now there's a nice open space around them, and apparently now they sleep because I have AFK'd for an hour, and I have a kind of large amount of iron, which is quite nice. So this thing should be working now, although it hasn't spawned an iron golem since I've started this clip, which I feel like it should have. But I did AFK for an hour and it was fine, so I think we're good, hopefully, unless this just like continues to not work, but I will wait here for a couple seconds and it will probably spawn one. Yep, there we go. We got an iron golem. That only took another second after I stopped talking, so yeah, it should be working perfectly now. I can remove this border. The villagers were escaping quite often when I was digging that, but I think this iron farm is now completely done, and I can move on to the next thing. Actually, the next thing is just to kind of keep working on this project because it wasn't quite done. I have done everything now because the clip that I recorded for this part of the video, the audio didn't record, so there's a bunch of progress that I've made. Mostly, I've done terraforming, so I've added slabs pretty much everywhere just to kind of smooth out the thing, because one of my main like problems with the build as it was earlier was that it kind of just looked like I put 3 structures in a cave, as opposed to it actually being like a mine, and I think it looks a lot more like a mine now with all the terraforming that I've done, because the cave looks a lot more worked, I guess. It looks like something I've built purposefully, and not just like, here's a cave, I put some stuff in it. I've also finished up the path network, so now it actually goes into this area, as well as some extra designs in here. And it goes to the TNT place. I would imagine you go up here and be like, okay, I need some TNT to go blow up some rocks or something like that. And yeah, that's about it. But I've also widened this because it used to be really small, and now it's a lot bigger, which I think fits the whole aesthetic a lot more. It's supposed to be an actually quite like productive mine, and having a tiny little thing to actually get into it is not really gonna work. But I think this build's actually done now. Oh yeah, I also added some lanterns just around to kind of help with lighting and stuff. But I think this build's done now, and with that, I think I'm gonna end this one here. But before we do that, I have to update the map because it's the most fun part. So the mine is right there, so it should be this map, I think. And is it? Yes, it is, but I think I have to get closer, or it's really just not that visible. Yeah, it's kind of just not that visible, but anyway, I like updating the map regardless. So now we have a nice little mine on the map right there. Wow, it is really not that visible, damn. I thought it would be like at least a little bit more than that. But anyway, we have that, and also I kind of want to connect this to the tunnel that goes down the cliffs, which I think the entrance to that is, yeah, it's right there, and they're kind of close. So I want to connect that at some point, but not right now because, like I said, we're about out of video time for today. So I'm going to end this one here. Like if you liked, subscribe if you like it. Have a great day. And as always, bye-bye.